All right. Well, everyone who's here, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to LoreForged Live. Here we go.
Welcome.
Wrong one. Try it again. And good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is LoreForged, the podcast for Ashes of Creation, episode 67. My name's Jibs. We'll just go to gloss over that. And I'm joined by Sunny.
Lord, you know, this actually tracks perfectly to what I was going to say, because it never really occurred to me that you always say like, good morning. And I'm always raising some sort of like whiskey or something like that. And they're like, these guys are drinking first thing in the morning all the time. Like, they have a problem.
Yeah. May need to have a group to meet on that. Maybe a 12-step issue, problem, whatever.
Or something.
Yeah. And Cash is here.
Jibs, you need a reboot. You need a legit head reboot right now.
Yeah, that was a fun trip. I feel like I couldn't get 5 words out. But
that's okay.
Here we are.
No problem. We got you.
Started the stream and accidentally pushed this.
Welcome.
Instead of the actual intro. Like we're on a roll.
What I want to know is, what is that doing on your board?
That's what I was wondering too.
So I've got this board set up. You know, I have one whole side of these sound panels for the show, like the live show, and then I've got one for my stream. So whenever someone comes into the Twitch stream that's new, I say, "Hey, welcome in."
Welcome.
Or like something awesome happens, and it's like
high five.
And then you finally got this one. Whenever I just don't care.
I regret nothing. The end.
And that's it.
The end.
Okay.
Well, that's a plausible explanation. Well, now Katie already clipped the welcome thing for us. So
of course she did. Freaking Jim.
Thanks, she's very fast at this.
She's really efficient at that, pointing out our mistakes, like our embarrassing moments. She's really good.
Well,
at
she's
that.
had a lot of practice.
It's true. You know? Well, she's definitely got a wealth of that here. Oh, well, gentlemen, what's shaking? What's new?
Oh, man, just so much stuff. Who would have thought that an MMO would come complete with so much drama before it even launches?
I know, it just keeps kind of compounding, doesn't it?
Drama-filled game this is.
It has been. There's been a lot of drama, and I think we've stayed out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Until it leaks over onto our side, and then we're like, oh, hell no.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we kind of handled our portion of it whenever we jumped in with the war, but like I feel like we weren't really the focus of that. We just kind of took part. And so we've kind of been on the sidelines watching all the stuff happen, and, you know, everyone talking about it and doing that. Isn't it crazy? It's server politics already. We're in the alpha. We're supposed to be testing.
I don't think these are the server politics they were intending for when they designed this, but no, I agree with Cash. Like, we haven't been the focus of it, and we certainly haven't stuck our head, you know, so far in and waved it around like some of the other content creators to just, you know, stir it up. It was plenty stirred by the time that we got there. And, you know, it just continues. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I think it continues to provide content for all sorts of people. If you're into clickbait images and controversial YouTube videos, this is your Christmas. Congratulations.
Yeah, if you're into reaction of the reaction videos, then this is your spot. But it's funny because you think about all of the drama that's taken place on Verra, and it's hard to realize that this is phase 1 of an alpha.
Yeah.
It's insane to think about that. Like, wait a minute, I thought we were just gonna like be reporting bugs and stuff and like just exploring.
You can't even really fight each other yet. There's no nodes collapsing. There's no reason to do any of this stuff, and people are just full on.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty of fighting though.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I think I was talking to Jibs about this. Plenty of fighting already, and it seems like the reins came off right about when everybody started hitting 25.
Oh yeah. The moment, and I noticed that on Verra, the moment people hit 25, there was a shift in the air. And it was all of a sudden, everyone's just wagging their level in front of everybody, and they are just teeing off on everyone. Combat escalated quickly. It went from grinding and, you know, working through crafting to just stomping on everybody. I mean, you notice that shift. And here we are, Sonny. We're like a month and 2 weeks in. And we're getting ready to step into phase 2. That's 6 months. 6 months instead of what? Like 2 months by the time it's all said and done with phase 1? It's going to be interesting.
It's, you know, and I'm getting like back channel conversations with people that I'm not even starting that are, you know, asking me about like, what are you guys going to do? And we need to have meetings and all of this other stuff. And that's fine. And obviously it's all good intentioned. But it's just like, how did we get here? Like we barely have started this thing and already, you know, people are, including myself, like are concerned for the next level. And is this going to be a good experience or a bad experience? And like, if you would have asked me this before we started, like I would have said, slow your roll, dude. Like it's gonna be testing. It's gonna be Alpha 1. It's not a big deal. And now, like, I don't know if there's anybody at any level of management in any guild that isn't having like real sit down, like nail biting conversations about what to do about all this stuff. So I don't know. It seems crazy.
He's so pissed at me right now. Look at his face. He's biting his lip. I just sent him a baby names page that tells him how to pronounce Verra correctly.
You said it was Verra.
I never said it was Verra.
Oh
I
my
pronounced
God, you're
it.
so full
I
of
just
crap.
pronounced it Verra.
You're so
I've
full of
stopped. However you pronounce it in your videos, I'm just like, he is doing him. I am not correcting him.
Did I say Verra on the video?
Oh, the whole video.
Yeah, I bet you that there is a legion of people, better yet, a battalion of people that pronounce it.
Oh boy.
Verra.
Wow. He's gonna, somehow.
He's so mad.
Oh,
Did we lose him?
we got the Roboto forged.
Oh no.
Oh,
Is it
no.
gone?
I don't know. I don't know how to make it stop.
Is it still going?
Could be both of us. I don't know.
Said it's gone.
We're good now.
And it's gone.
Fix now. Everyone says fix now. Okay.
Jeez, man. I just reset my router. I do not know what the hell's going on. It's
That's
got to
okay.
be Discord.
I don't know what it is. That's all good.
I mean, it doesn't help the fact that we are 3 people in 3 different corners of this country, all broadcasting to each other at the same time.
We are. We're a squad, the 3 of us, right? Not a battalion.
No,
Definitely not a battalion.
I don't trust you if you were watching my back now. I feel like you'd put a sign on to shoot this one.
Yeah.
Shoot him.
It's just drawing a big red circle, a little red circle in the inside.
Buddy, it comes from a place of love.
So mean, though. So mean.
Goes out of his way, right? And then if you talk about a game he's not interested in, he does this. His eyes start glazing over and he rolls back.
Yep.
Do you keep notes about other people's shortcomings?
He does. He has a notebook, Sonny, full of the things that I have misspoke on.
Really?
No, it's not that. I literally have notes on all of your sayings. I'll show you. I mean, here it is right here. These are all your sayings that you.
That's me?
Yeah, that's quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh.
What is wrong
some
with you?
good
No.
ones. Give me 2.
Sonny,
give me,
you mother.
Give me 2.
Okay.
Utah.
Okay.
Give me 2.
I'll give you 2. Okay. Here's one. I'm going to do a line of CBD to come down from that freak out. I'm telling you, this is good shit. Okay, here's one. Here's one. The everlasting.
Wait. Best comment ever from Tomac. 1 drugs, please. That's good. Right. That's good.
Here's another one. The everlasting cough stopper.
You're just sitting on a gold mine with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just a good idea.
I have one more. I'd like to be on a fly on a wall.
On the fly.
On the fly.
Like, on the wall. With reins.
I got a whole bunch of them.
No, we can't.
Needs to be a book.
No, that's it. A little at a time. I'll give you those in spurts.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yes, Katie, he does need a letter with a black hand on it. That's what he needs.
That is something. Good. Man, I'm crying. All right.
Oh, the first one is just spectacular.
What was the first one? Can you do that one more time?
The line of CBD.
I don't even recall saying that.
So good. Don't.
That's why I write them down.
1 drugs,
here
please.
We go. I'm going to go do a line of CBD to come down from that freak out.
First of all, if you're doing a line of it, you're not coming down. No matter what it is, if you do it in line form, it is not coming down.
Yeah, you're going to go further down.
It was just as good the second time.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay.
It's great. Good stuff.
Sonny, take me into KOTOR or talk more. Let's talk more about Verra, whatever you want to say. I don't even care anymore. Got 2 middle fingers and they're both aimed at Cash.
My eyes are just like, I just can't. Oh, my God. I was telling JB about this. I was like, there's 3 of us that do this show. Other people can't, like, they have to do everything themselves. And then I think of like moments like this where I'm like, yeah, maybe 3 is not a great idea. It just becomes childish. Okay, here we go. I got a couple for you guys. So this is a segment that we call KOTOR, named after one of our favorite games of all time. But it actually means check out this thing on Reddit. Okay, so this one is actually somewhat, I have a link here. I'm going to post it in the chat. And this one goes to JB. This is not actually the KOTOR, but I saw this before the show started. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm going to make JB even click the link in the chat channel. Go ahead and click that.
I'm opening now. Mm-hmm. Oh, I saw that. Isn't that beautiful?
Look at that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow. So
that's beautiful.
JB, we all do little streams every now and then. And when JB does a stream, he likes to do map making streams, which is awesome, right? He has a tremendous eye for graphics, and he uses a program to make these particular maps. And somebody has apparently got the exact same idea, because they made a map of the Riverlands, which is what you were actually doing. I'm doing the whole Verra. Yeah. All of Verra, I should say.
This is chef's kiss.
And they did one of the Riverlands, and it looks fantastic. He used the program Incarnate, which you also use, I believe, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Just really, really pretty.
It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. I mean, if you haven't, you know what? I'll save this and I'll post this on our X profile. People can go see.
Yeah, this is worth a link. Like this is just art, right?
I'll give them credit too, because that is absolutely stunning.
Beautiful. Yeah. And in fact, I commented on that because I was complimenting them on their shading. Such great coloring, great shading. I
love the water down at the bottom, the way that they made like the deeper water, a darker blue that like moves in. It just looks very alive, right? Like the whole thing looks very alive. I love the logo at the top with Riverlands, and
it's beautiful. I love it.
Super cool.
Oh yeah.
The clouds and everything around it.
Clouds. Kind of leaned in Arnold there, didn't you?
Said that a little weird.
Now see, I'm watching everything you both say and how you say it.
Yep. I'll be looking forward to this. This will make for great camaraderie. I'm sure we'll be best of friends by the end of this little experiment.
I can feel your anger.
Yep.
Make you stronger.
Okay, here we go. Now we're going to get into the actual KOTOR, and I will link this one also in there, but I'll put it in our show chat here as well. So this comes from Reddit, and this particular post is very simple, but it raises a question that I've actually been asked a couple times, and then I kind of thought of it myself one day, and just the whole experience revolves around proximity chat. So the person that posted this is Yamakasen, and he said, the last thread I found was from 3 months ago, and the last news was that the devs were considering proximity chat for some locations in the game. Is this still true? Yada, yada, yada. I loved it in Sea of Thieves. What do you think about possible proximity chat in the game? So I'm going to go. JB seems like he has a very strong opinion on this already. So I'm going to go to JB on this one. JB, what do you think about proximity chat in Ashes of Creation?
Sea of Thieves and MMO. Sea of Thieves and Ashes of Creation are two different things. No. No, I don't like it. I don't like it, Tom. When I was in Eternum and New World, we did this, Steve, and it didn't work out. All right? It was a bad time, Rick. No one had a good time with it. Everyone was yelling. You heard things. I mean, hey, look, if you want to get outside of your immersion, turn on proximity chat. It's going to take you right out of it. All of a sudden, you're going to go from medieval fantasy to listening to what was that old song?
Gangster rap.
Went to go get the broom, but then I got high. Like that whole, like, you remember that?
Oh yeah,
yeah, like that.
I think it was
stuff.
Red Man. I think
was that Red? That wasn't Red Man.
Because I got high.
Yeah,
something.
Because I got high. Like yeah,
Afro Man. Thank you.
That's it. Yeah,
Tomac with 2 tonight.
Yeah, yes. Give me 2. But no, like that stuff legit is playing, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't want that. No way. Now I will say this. If there was for like public events, like open world PvP, people talking trash, you could do that for that, but then it just turns into a Call of Duty lobby. So really, no, I'm good. Okay.
Before I go to Cash, let me ask you this one. Guild only in taverns?
Yes.
Oh,
but that's why we have Discord. So
yeah, I know. Right.
Yeah.
All right, Cash. Any circumstance in which you're okay with proximity chat in Ashes of Creation?
No, I don't think so. And I think the reason being is because we already have a voice chat that works better for everything. We don't have Raid Call anymore. We don't have Ventrilo anymore. Everybody uses Discord because it works perfectly, and it's exclusive to the people who you are playing with. If you were to have, say you were to do it just in a tavern, right? Or just for your guild. Now you have to choose between one or the other. Even like for RP, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's great. Super cool that functionality might be in the game. But now you're battling with having to listen to a lot more things at once. So you're either going to be in Discord or you're not, or you're in Discord and now you have a second voice that's talking, and you're going to be able to hear the people who are listening or who are playing their game on speakers. You're going to hear that right back in your voice. On top of that, it's going to be the New World days where you go into town where it's nice to listen to the cool music that they have in town. But then there's somebody, screaming freaking 50 Cent or something. It's like, I'm not interested. And you can't turn it off. Like there was a time where I couldn't even turn the damn thing off. At least I couldn't figure out how to turn it off.
Because you couldn't figure out how to go to settings.
Okay. Well, there's that too.
I mean, what like a 7th level of Dante's hell in gaming would allow you to have proximity chat and not be able to turn it off? Like that's
I
the
just
worst thing I've ever heard.
I remember for some reason, maybe I wasn't able to find it or something. And you guys, like, I'm not bad with computers. I'm not like the old guy that doesn't know how to work computers. I'm pretty good. But for some reason, it was on, and I could not figure out how to turn the damn thing off. And it was annoying as hell listening to this guy standing on top of the trading post, just blasting this. And I was like, oh my God, I wish this was a PvP game that I could kill you right now and suffer the consequences later. But no, I'm not a fan of proximity chat. I think it's something that has manifested probably over the last 10 years or so of gaming. And, you know, as VoIPs have become a thing and the technology has gotten better, but I'm not a fan of it in games because, yeah, it will absolutely destroy your immersion.
I mean, like, they've never been a good thing, right? Like, go back to Halo lobbies when Xbox Live first came out. Even in the early 2000s, we all knew, like, hey, this is like... because before they get into a match, everyone's together and they're just screaming and everyone's yelling and everything's just going with all kinds of insults, racial slurs are being thrown by everybody. Like, and you're just sitting there like 5, and there's a countdown, 5, 4, beep, beep, rah, 2, 1, and we're going in. Like, that's like proximity chat to me. Like, it's just,
And like, nobody wants to hear that. That's gonna open up a lot more issues, I think, for Intrepid if they were to do that. And you have somebody spouting off and, you know, like racial epithets, and nobody wants to hear it.
It is an almost open invitation for keyboard warriorism, right? Like, it is there for some reason when that thing turns on, people just go to the worst and darkest places. And I don't understand why that is. There was a thing, I remember this. So for a brief period, when I grew up, I played a lot of like sports games. I really like sports games. I was very much into sports. Yep. And I'm still into sports. I just don't play sports games anymore. But I tried, it was like maybe like 2014 or something like that. And I tried the NHL game. Mm-hmm. And I really liked it. They had like a whole new system where you could bring a character up from the minors and you had like your own guy and everything like that. And it was fun. But I had long since passed the ability to actually play the game well. Like, when you're young and you learn how to play sports games, there are certain things that you just learn that you eventually get, you know, better and better at as you play. Every year it comes out with a new one. And so there's a learning curve with these games where you don't realize that people have been playing these things for like 25 years. And so when you jump in and you're like, oh God, it's so hard to score. Meanwhile, everyone else is like, oh no, it's easy because you've been doing it for 25 years, right? And so I played this guy in this game of hockey and it was like 0-0 for the entire game because neither one of us could score. We just sucked at the game, right? And then it went to overtime. You had this shootout and the guy got like 1 goal on me. And then when the game ends, they open proximity chat for like, I don't know, 10 seconds. And this dude is just screaming on the other end. And I'm like, nope, uninstall. And that was it. That was the end. Done.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing to consider too is that that would be an aspect of the game that Intrepid would not be able to control.
No, not at all.
If you have chat and somebody goes off the deep end in chat, they can pull those logs up. But probably not with VoIP, because if you had some kind of voice chat, they're not going to record everything people say.
I mean, maybe they're running it off servers. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a recall for it. But you're right. Like, it's not near as easy as just popping up the chat log. That's like, they've been doing that for 30 years, right?
It's timestamped. You know where you know if you just put in a report or whatever, it's going to timestamp when you put that report in, and then they're going to be able to look in the logs and find it. But probably not with anything voice. So if somebody breaks TOS, then they're not. I think it would be a lot harder for them to enforce that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'd ask you guys anyways, just to see if you guys didn't have something like crazy. I was trying to actually think of like circumstances in which this would be okay, but the reality is it's like none, right? Like, if I'm in a tavern with only people that I trust, it's still worse than Discord. Still worse. There's just no circumstance in which it's better.
Isn't it crazy?
It's awful
how Discord has now become the VoIP of all VoIPs. Like, you know, Cash, you brought up, we went from Raid Call to Mumble, from Mumble and what was the Ventrilo?
Yeah.
Ventrilo.
Raid. What was the raid? Raid something.
Raid Call, wasn't that one?
Raid Call. TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak.
Yep.
I remember Mumble. I don't remember. I think we tinkered around with one more. I don't remember what it was. Logitech.
Is there anything else out there that we're just not aware of because we're so locked into Discord?
I mean, if there is, it's like official things. Like for companies, like people use Discourse. People use they use other stuff as well. Some people use Zoom. I heard, but. Do you remember that in gaming though?
Out there, but
when like there was like a VoIP race that was like going on. Like that was just as much a thing as the MMO genre was, you know? And I don't mean to like steer to this, but you know, like that was a thing. That was like 10 years ago.
It was. Yep. And then
ICQ. I remember that.
And I remember specifically remember the interface of Ventrilo?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was awful. Like, oh my gosh. And you look at
they was like turning on a Commodore 64.
It was terrible. Just old school interface. And now you look at Discord, it's got beautiful sliders, it's got a really nice interface, and there's no wonder that Discord is now like the Facebook for gamers.
Dude, Ventrilo is still around. It's still around.
Really?
We should. Hey guys, we're going to Ventrilo. We're done with Discord.
Going to Ventrilo.
Yep.
Yep.
Jeez, they must have gotten like a FEMA grant or something to keep them going.
They have servers you can rent. Look at this. 25 users, guys. We can sign up today. That'll cover our guild.
So.
Oh, sorry, folks. All right.
Oh my God.
I'll take it from here.
That one got me too. FEMA grant.
Well, they definitely aren't getting people to pay in. There's zero chance of that.
This is not the open market speaking loudly.
Yeah, like there's people out there where they'd rather like double, triple, quadruple boost a Discord server than pay 4 cents to Ventrilo.
Oh man. Gosh.
That was one of my favorite things when the whole stock meme thing came through, like the GameStop stock meme.
Mm-hmm.
When this is one of the greatest moments in American like economic history, when the nerds figured out that like everyone was shorting certain stocks, and so if they bought them, then they'd bust the stop loss on them all, and it just went crazy. But one of the meme stocks was BlackBerry, and I'm like, damn, you can still buy a BlackBerry stock? Like, BlackBerry? This is thing that's like a keyboard in your hand with text only. Like the cell phone, like the iPhone didn't kill BlackBerry. It's still around. It blew my mind. I could not believe that.
FEMA grants.
Unreal. It's gotta be. BlackBerry's gotta be subsidized by the government somehow.
So on that note, A2 weekend, we just had a week-long test, gentlemen. And granted, when this episode comes out, we'll have had one of the next to last weekends of Alpha, I think, right? Of Alpha Phase 1? Alpha 2 Phase 1? I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think. But
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks? Okay.
2 more weeks and then the wipe.
Then the wipe. All right. What do you guys think about the wipe? Are you guys looking forward to the wipe? Or where's your head at? Sonny's done. Look at that. He's I'm done.
Yeah, I was done a week ago. Like, I don't know what to do with myself in game anymore. The mayor thing was interesting until I found out that it wasn't eligible. What a kick in the nuts that was. So
well, tell that story though.
Sure. Okay. So here's what happened. So first of all, it all kind of came from Steven just out of the blue deciding that he was going to give us a Thanksgiving present and let us play for like 12 straight days, which was awesome. But it was totally unexpected. I don't know about you guys, but I got zero warning that this was coming. And all of a sudden it's just like, no, we're leaving them up. We're leaving the servers up. So much so that I had a stream on the Monday after they took them down. And I kid you not, it was the funniest thing. Every 20 minutes, somebody would come into the stream and say, are the servers down? And they didn't understand. And I'm like, okay, here we go. The servers are going to be down from Monday through the end of Thursday. This is the norm because I guess people just got so used to doing that. Well, as a result of the server staying up this long, one of those mayor re-elections actually happened during the time that was up. And so people are like, is this real? Are you really going to have another re-election? Because we were under the impression that those mayors were locked in for the entirety of phase 1. And the answer was, yeah, they're going to have an election, and it's going to be a little bit longer than it was before. It'll have like a day of nominations and then like they said a week of voting. And I guess they probably should have clarified that those are like in-game sort of cycles. So people end up getting nominated. And so I was like, sweet, I'm going to go to Nuela and become a citizen and then get nominated, because I had left Nuela to test out some other stuff, as we do for this. I went to Winstead. I wanted to test out being a citizen in another node with some of these other crafting things. Turns out the cooldown is not in game. That is actual time. So I got completely screwed on that thing, and I was not eligible to run in Nuela. And so we put Jibs up. Jibs ran, and the voting period was supposed to be a week, and that ended in like a day and a half.
On Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving.
It started on Thanksgiving, which was, I just want to preface real quick, was an all-time low for our community of like involvement. Like a day, it was weird in the server because everyone was celebrating with families. No one was active that day.
Our guild is specifically not designed to do something on a holiday. Like, we are actively bringing people into the guild that are family working adults. These are not the people that are playing on Christmas morning. All right.
No.
So we had a turnout of like 3.5 dudes vote for JB, and we lost the election, and Big Jamal won it, and good for Big Jamal. Big Jamal is from Anvil, by the way, who reached out to me today and said, hey, we were wondering if, maybe we'll make a better relationship with that, and maybe we can get you, a better chance of being mayor. I'm like, you're Anvil. You're the guys that won the mayorship. You're not going to put me in. You're going to put Big Jamal in again. Don't screw with me.
Well, that was cool, though. They reached out.
I know, it was cool. And I was cool with them and everything like that. But like, it was pretty funny because they had actually reached out to us and said like, hey, do you want to support our guy? We think we're going to win anyways. And they were right. They won it. But like, we will have to be a little bit more organized the next time this thing comes around. But man, the Thanksgiving thing did not help us.
No, it's not our fault. It was on Thanksgiving, Sonny. We were organized just fine. We were celebrating with family and drinking scotch and
that's right,
eating turkey. And Cash just wants to talk. Go ahead, Cash.
Is anybody else overshadowing the fact here or not thinking of the fact here of how the whole thing went down with they're going to leave it up over the entire Thanksgiving week? It felt a little bit like a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see Steven in the Alpha 2 news on Discord typing it out. We are going to leave the servers up through Monday or Sunday night. Yeah, hang on. Sunday night at 10 p.m. PST. Send. Hosting!
Yeah. That is right.
I bet you like that's how it went down. Not necessarily like that, but someone had to stay. Because like you got to monitor your servers. The servers go down. Someone's got to bring them back up. Or maybe it's the guy who like lives in the upstairs apartment right around the corner from where they're at in San Diego. Right? Like,
who's closest that can come over and turn it off and turn it back on again?
You walk to work. You don't even ride your bike. You walk to work. You get here in 4 minutes. You're staying.
It's a good point, JB. Like, did you? I hadn't thought of this a lot, but like, is that a good move or not? Like,
oh yeah, servers were up. It was awesome. I mean, like, yeah, of course it was a good move. Like, it was awesome. And it was, you could tell everyone there was out, like on vacation during that time because the servers didn't really go down ever.
Yeah, they really didn't. They didn't update anything.
No, like they just let it go.
Just let it run.
It was fun because you got the feel for the first time of what it's going to feel like to just wake up and know that Ashes is there and you can play.
Yeah. And it was freaking terrifying, dude. You know the kind of FOMO that I experience the entire week when I'm out there freaking spatchcocking a turkey and getting ready for the mob of my family to come over and ruin my day.
I'm sorry, we gotta stop here for a second.
Let's go back.
Did you actually drop the word spatchcocking?
That's not a thing, right?
I did.
I believe it is a thing, but man, it has been a hot minute since I was in a conversation with a spatchcock dropper.
Yeah, look at that. It's a cooking technique that involves removing a bird's backbone and laying it flat on the cooking surface. Huh.
Bitches, you guys are talking to the Verra chef.
I mean, like, clearly, we are out of our element, Donnie.
So, anyway, I loved it. I loved every minute that I was able to get in and play on the days that you normally wouldn't get to play. Because, yeah, we've gotten very used to the Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. But I'm not kidding you. I am downright terrified about how it's going to feel when this game is live all the time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
How do you think the rest of America who isn't retiring feels, Cash? That's
what I'm talking about. I might bump the retirement up a little bit. Is that a bad decision?
It seems like a bad decision. if you're moving your retirement based on like the inside world of Verra, then I'm not real sure those are good decisions.
Well, I'm clearly not thinking about percentages of money I'm going to be getting if I'm having major FOMO about whether or not the game's going to launch and I'm still going to be working.
Well, then the crazy thing is this, right? Like, you are playing this game and you are at that level of like, I want to be in here. I need to be in here. And you know that this game is getting wiped in 16 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it is.
That's the scary part.
It is not even like a possibility at this point. I think we all believe that this is 100% chance that this is happening. And yet people are still playing this thing like it is the thing that will build for the next years and years and years. The game will, but your character won't. He's out.
Yeah. So on that note, like, are any of you feeling like, I'll tell you, I'm really leaning toward a mage, aside from possibility with the summoner. However, knowing that these wipes are coming, are there any archetypes that you're like, I've kind of been interested in trying that out. I know it's going to get wiped anyway, so I may just try it anyway for foreseeable future. Are you guys feeling that way at all? Or are you just kind of, really leaning into your...
Honestly, I hadn't thought about it until you just said it now, but it's probably not a terrible idea. Because I'm like wandering around with my mage, not knowing what the hell to do. Like, I got to be totally honest with you. I'm totally out. Like, I as we get closer, I just don't know what to do. Now, I've had some moments actually on the stream were some of my best moments when I like talked to Creerian, and Creerian, I'm making a video about this right now. I have the thing all lined up and I'm going to do a little bit of it tomorrow, but Creerian went with me and he shared his screen on the stream, and we went through the entirety of the mayoral system and the abilities that he has. And that is fascinating. And that is one of the moments that I've had in the last couple of weeks that like legitimately was super new and super interesting, because with the wipe with my character, I can't buy and sell anything really. There's no active market to screw around with. I feel like I've learned most of the things with the mage that I wanted to know. Grinding does nothing for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm in a tough spot. Like there's not a lot of content. There's not a lot of quests. There's things like that. I want to test things. So now that you say this, like, why am I not trying out a new class? That's what I should be doing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to. I'm kind of tinkering around the idea of maybe trying out a fighter or something completely different. Like maybe a fighter or a tank. I don't know, maybe even a cleric. But I don't know yet. Cash, what do you think? Ranger? All right, cool.
I was thinking about trying out the Ranger.
Yeah. It's a new class for you, right? I mean, you've never played it before.
No,
so
if I don't, then I would definitely be going cleric. But yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go Ranger again.
Yeah.
And see, maybe in a later phase, maybe as a second character, I'll do it. But I had a blast on my Ranger, man. It was just super fun. And now, we're gonna, I think, I think there's a group of us that's going to go pretty hard. And I'm looking forward to doing that. So I really want to master that class, and I'm nowhere near mastering the class yet. I have a lot more to go. But I really enjoy the class, and I don't see. Hopefully, I'm not burned out on it by the time the game launches. You know, maybe in later phases, I'll try some different stuff just so the Ranger feels good and fresh again when the game launches. I might do that.
I think that next phase is going to be tricky for me because I fully intend to try a rogue out. And that is going to be, I'm not like an alt guy, right? So I want Sunny Ravencourt to be my character on my class. So I will like delete another character to do that. And I don't know, you know, like it really makes me wonder, you know, that whole, you know, who knows what position I'm in, right? Maybe I'm the mayor, and then I'm like, oh God, you know, do I have a second character? I don't really.
That's what I was going to ask. What if you're the mayor and then the rogue launches?
Dun, dun, dun.
That is what you call a conundrum.
It's true, and you might honestly end up. I might test it real quick just to see, like as a throwaway, and if I really like it, then you might see an emergency mayoral election.
Is that actually in place?
I think it is. I think that this is actually in place. If you drop the mayorship, they immediately run an election. And that's not the worst thing in the world because you can tell everybody like in our guild, whatever, to, hey, go back to New Ayla, become a citizen for the next 2 days. Okay? Because we're going to do an election. So you can coordinate that kind of thing with a dropped election on purpose. Those are kind of sneaky tactics, but you know, politics, right?
It's true.
Vote early, vote often. Sunny for mayor. But I mean, I just plan on. I'm not gonna not try out a rogue. Right, the rogue is in the playbook. I have to.
I think everybody has to. It's like such a staple in fantasy. What does everyone play in Skyrim? Archer rogue.
An archer rogue.
An archer rogue.
Stealth archer.
Stealth archer. Everyone's doing something stealthy. I mean, like it is. I did a
mage once in Skyrim. It was great. Have you ever tried a mage in Skyrim?
I tinkered.
Yeah. You know what I end up being?
A ranger.
A stealth archer.
Oh.
Every time.
You gotta like make rules, otherwise you're gonna do that, you know.
Yeah. Well, okay. So now here's a funny thing. I think we're gonna be in the middle of phase 2, and the rogue is gonna make its appearance. And then Lionhold is going to be filled with nothing but rogues. It's going to be a bloodbath, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you're a caster, look out.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be so many people that are all going to be stealthing, and all of a sudden you're going to see a goblin and you're going to start targeting it, and then the goblin's just going to delete because somebody unstealths in a backstab and just kills that thing in one shot. That's what's going to be happening.
It's going to be a lot of death. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of death. In fact, yeah, you know, I'm kind of looking forward to that for Lionhold, just to see all the rogues. And the best part is now they're going to be bringing the Dunir, and they're all going to be a bunch of ankle biters, me included, right? Like we're just going to be like half the size of the population from height standpoint anyway, and we're invisible, so it's going to be a good time.
The dwarves are going to be a big hit at the launch of the next one. There's going to be a crap load of little dwarves running around. They're going to be constant.
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys remember when the dwarves used to jump? They used to like do the flip.
Yeah, they did the flip.
Yeah.
Some people hated it.
Still be in, right?
Loved it. Yeah, they talked about it in the latest hub update. And I hope it doesn't go away. I mean, that's classic dwarf.
Well,
agree.
I mean, like, I don't know a dwarf that's like that flexible, like readily, but it was awesome to see it in the game because it was like not normal to me. Like, can you imagine Gimli doing a front flip, but Sunny?
Every time you see a dwarf in like a Lord of the Rings movie, they're always doing something that's like undwarvenly, right? Like Sunny. The Hobbit movies when they're jumping around and banging off each other and like doing all the barrels, right? All that stuff. Now, admittedly, like the Hobbit wasn't like everyone's favorite Lord of the Rings stuff, but nonetheless, I feel like dwarves are they're capable of a solid front flip. Very dangerous
they're
over
not.
short distances. You know,
That's running. That is not acrobatics.
Okay.
It's funny.
I liked the dwarf flip. I hope it stays in. I would love it.
I hope it stays in too, because it's just not normal to me.
Here's a funny thing. You guys know how I've been like, I went from I'm going to roll an elf to no, I'm going to make my character in Kalar. I think I might be going back to elf. I'm just feeling it.
Which elf?
Oh, it would definitely be Pyre. For sure.
You remember that armor though? You weren't happy with that armor.
Yeah, but you know what? Just getting out there as a ranger again, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that nature is seeping into my paws.
So you're gonna have antlers?
My being into my loins.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you okay with the horns?
I'm gonna.
Oh
hunt.
yeah, that's a big part of it.
I just want to let you know I'm gonna hunt you and put you on my wall.
Mount.
But I was wearing an orange vest. Why did you shoot me?
Bummer of a birthmark, Hal.
Yeah, I would imagine that during hunting season in Verra, there's probably a spike in pirate deaths. You're just like peeking around a corner because you hear an arrow getting knocked and you just get shot in the face.
What are you doing this weekend, Phil? I'm probably gonna stay at home. Oh, that's right. First week in a shotgun. Got it.
But it's a doe tag. It's a doe tag.
It's like the
Not even a
purge.
buck.
Oh,
We'll shot you in the face.
I love it. That's gonna be a good. That should be a bit. Yep, that's a good one. Well, gentlemen.
God, okay, so I don't think we can end the show without like at least talking a little bit about like the server itself and the amount of consternation going on about what has happened and whether this is a good or a bad thing for us, right? So last week we had the whole event and everything was a big deal, and it was this massive battle that wasn't, and EPH came in, and since that time there has been so much drama on our server with all of these guilds and everything like that, and now it looks like as of a few hours ago the EPH has disbanded and they've reformed into a new guild and everything like that. And I just wanted to hear from you guys on the show, like, is this something that is what you want in Ashes of Creation? Okay, big picture, is this the kind of stuff that you want in your MMO? Do you want to have this kind of turmoil and conflict, or are you looking for something maybe a little bit more chill? Is this a function of the game just being small geographically? Is this something that you think is going to exist no matter what happens, just by the nature of an MMO in basically every server? What are your thoughts going forward as we relaunch this thing into Alpha 2?
Cash, take it away.
I don't just see this as a function of the game, but so if you hadn't heard, the leader of EPH is stepping down, Ethereum, and it's a hardcore guild. They definitely made their presence on Verra, and despite all the pros and cons of everything that happened, the actions that they did, the actions that we did, it all made for a lot of fun. And we talked about this last week on the show. It was super fun. I don't just think that it is something that the game will breed. I think it's a symptom of what's happening with Ashes of Creation. And in saying that, I mean this. I don't think anybody expected this game to be the skeleton of a game as it is now, just the backbone of a game, and they're slowly adding meat, right? But the skeleton of this game has proven to be incredibly addictive. And I think that I think that manifested in the way that guilds, some of the hardcore guilds like EPH, man, even some of our folks just completely went nuts and just grind, get the best gear we can. Let's try these different spots. Like they were everywhere all the time, all hours of the day, all hours of the night while those servers were up. I was not expecting it. And I know that we've talked about this before. I've mentioned it before. I was not expecting the game to be as addicting as it is. So the reasons for EPH's leader, as at least as stated in the Ashes of Creation Discord, was to focus more on life because, you know, and it wasn't just Ashes of Creation, but, you know, they have a presence in other games. And I think it's pretty commendable. The guy's like, hey, I recognize I need to take a step back and I need to get back to life. And I bet a part of that was seeing the potential here. I mean, the potential here for Ashes of Creation to be one of those games that overtakes your life is massive. It's big. That we are going to have to tailor our playtime and our game time a little bit to where we're not ignoring our lives. Because the game is a second life. The game, when it comes out, when it's feature rich and story rich, and there's 18 freaking zones the size of the Riverlands.
Wait, is that how many zones there are?
18 biomes, dude.
Oh,
18
Jesus.
biomes. And what it tells me is that the game has a long way to go before launch, and that's fine. But if we are this addicted this soon, when that game launches, it's going to be terrifying at how much time it will have the potential to take from your life. So,
if you're not burnt out by them.
Yeah, if you're not burnt out by then. And I think that's going to be something that everybody who's testing and playing the game is going to have to monitor. You know, you don't want to burn out before launch. That's when the fun starts. But to me, I think the whole thing that happened with EPH is part of the game. There's always going to be guilds. There's always going to be players who are better and sweatier than you are. Always. And I am happy. I'm very happy about the fact that those folks, despite whether or not I like their tactics, despite whether or not I like the way some of them have acted in game, I'm happy that they're there. Because that means that this game is going to continue to grow and be competitive and bring all kinds of people in. That's where the fun is. If we were all the same, our lives would suck. But everybody's different for different reasons, and it adds spice and flavor. That's where I'm at.
Sonny, can you repeat the question one more time?
I guess the question is this. With everything that happened, do you expect this to be the norm for Ashes of Creation? That you have this kind of level of turmoil just by the design of the game, the way that it exists, the fact that this is an MMO in 2024, right? This is not an MMO in 2003 when we're all just learning what MMOs are.
Right.
Like we're now here. We've bred an entire 20 years of people that have gotten to this point. Is this something that we should expect? Is this something that is good for the game, or what are we dealing with here?
I think yes and no. I think honestly, you'll see more of this on the servers that will become known for the more hardcore go there. You know, I think it's really going to be server specific, and I think there's a few factors to play into this. One, I think it comes down to the zone, only having that one zone, right? Stuff like this may become things that we just hear about through hearsay. Hey, I guess this took place like last week way over here, and we hear about it through, you know, whether it's covered on a gaming site, because it will be. This game is absolutely an EVE Online headline, you know, just waiting to happen. And so I think it's going to be server specific, and I think when the game opens up more, there's a whole lot more space, you know, to hold this kind of conflict. I think that possibly because it took place within a single zone and you're stuffing, you know, like where people can't leave, they can't branch out into really like in a in-depth way to other zones, to really create that space. It kept everything tight knit, and everything from like the conflict, the vibe of the server, the tension, it kept it up here. And it never brought it. I still feel like it's here. I feel like it's been up here for 3 weeks, and, you know, like a little bit high strung, because number one, you're seeing people that are now hitting that 25 mark we talked about earlier in the show, and they can't go anywhere. It's like you've got a bunch of warriors in a cage, you know, just want to swing axes. And so like that kind of boiled over, I think, with what took place on the server. And I do think, yes, Sonny, that this is going to be I would say a portion of what Ashes of Creation will be when it comes to launch. But I think that really it's going to be server based.
I think you raise a really good point with the tensions, because like it kind of like it crystallized a thought of mine, which is you're exactly right that we've been at a 9 since launch.
Oh,
you know, like
yeah,
we are good friends with. We are only in one alliance, and it was Ignorance is Bis. Ignorance is best in slot. It's Richie's guild. He's another content creator. He reached out to us. He's like, hey, we're on the same server. You guys want to be in an alliance? We're totally cool with you guys. I'm like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. This is literally the only one, okay? And we had an incident that happened where one of their guys did something to one of our guys, and it rose all the way through the ranks, and we had to deal with it, and it ended up being fine. It was a great, you know, like diplomatic sort of reasonable outcome, and both sides were happy. But like, I feel like we're at a 9 all the time. Yeah. Even the people that we're friends with, we're at like a 7 with. And anybody that's, you know, dangerous, we had to make the threat scale and everything. And it is just an absolute pressure cooker inside of the Riverlands. And so I'm not real sure that is going to exist in the game all the time, because if it is, I don't know if I'm going to make it, man. Like, I can't handle a blood pressure of that rate and being on edge all the time in an MMO. It's just not the way that I personally like to play. Like, there's a reason why I started Capital and you started the Warborn. Like, I don't want that. That is not my gameplay loop. And so I don't necessarily believe that this is going to be the norm. I think that this kind of thing was a bit unique to rise to that level of drama that all of the content creators are talking about. Every single one of them right now is talking about this whole thing that has evolved and what's going to happen then on this particular server. Now the conversation is what's going to happen right before the 20th. Do we leave? Do we stay? Do they leave? Do they stay? Does this guy leave? Does he stay? All these guilds having the exact same conversation right now. Is the grass greener on another side of a fence? Is it better to just stay here? Do you have relationships? Do you have alliances? All that kind of stuff. So it is a very interesting time. And I, like Cash, I did not see this coming. I really thought that this was going to be a more chill testing experience. And instead, it's been at a 9 for 5 weeks now. And I'm shocked that we've played a game that is admittedly missing so many components of the finished game, and we're treating it like it's the end of times all the time.
Yeah. Do you think Intrepid knew that this is what was going to happen? Do you think they were just kind of sitting there going, I cannot wait for these people to experience this game?
I mean, I think
this is a best case scenario for them. This is a best case scenario.
It's the best. It's like that's my point. I agree 100%. This is the best case scenario, because what have we seen? The very first week, after the very first weekend, we saw a bunch of videos come out with big content creators, some of which were saying like, It's not worth $100, you know, to get into the alpha. Some were saying it's got a long time to cook, but I really had a good time playing the game. And this is when the servers were at the worst that they were going to be. They were, there was tons of lag, and especially in Lionhold, there was a lot of problems, a lot of stuff not finished. Now here we are 6 weeks later, stuff is a lot more polished. A lot of things have been fixed. Server stability is really good. Combat's super fluid. And what has stopped happening? That's right, gentlemen. Nobody's putting out bad videos about this game anymore, about how it's unfinished and this was, they shouldn't have released it into early access like this. Like, no, dude, it's not early access, it's alpha. But the negativity surrounding Ashes of Creation is kind of non-existent right now. There's little features that people are still kind of griping about, but they're still logging in to play the damn game after 6 weeks. And they're still waiting for Friday, you know? So that's what I'm seeing out there. I am seeing the hype for this game continue to build in a slow way, where there's a lot less people that are saying, you know, yeah, this game has these problems and those problems. And I think that's an amazing thing for Intrepid, to be in this position to where they know, okay, people are liking this. We're going to continue building. We're going to continue grinding, and people are going to start hopping on board more and more as they start to see these features get fixed. And we're definitely seeing things get fixed from week to week. So I think we're all surprised. I think everybody's a little bit surprised at just how the community has rallied around it and has just become blindly addicted to what's going on with Ashes of Creation right now. It's nuts.
Storytime Alex says, quote, "It is ironic AOC is in early alpha testing. It's buggy, unbalanced, and a complete mess, yet it's already my favorite MMO."
Yeah. You know what that says? That speaks to where we are at in the MMO genre.
Well said.
It is a desert,
Well
right?
said.
It is a desert, and this is truly, I have said this when we started this show. When you guys pitched me the idea of doing a show on this, I said, this is the big one. This is the last chance that MMOs have. And it's either going to be awesome or it's going to be a spectacular failure. And either way, we're doing a show about it. And here we are. And like the number of unpredictable things that have happened already is just phenomenal. And like everything that Cash said is absolutely true. Like, it is shocking how much we are invested in this thing in the condition that it's in. And I'm not saying that like this game doesn't have promise. I'm saying this is an unfinished game. Like, there is no economy to speak of. There is crashing. There is problems with, you know, lag. There is like no quests at all. And we do a show called LoreForged, and yet all of us are like super into this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's scary to think about, like, what happens when you get all of the things that you and me and you are all into? Like, what happens when you put those into the game? Like, it's got such tremendous ceiling. Like, the ceiling is almost undescribable for something like this. And you compound that with the fact that there's nothing else going on in the MMO world right now. You know what your other option is? Your other option is Warcraft. Have you played Warcraft? Yes, you have. It hasn't changed 20 years. Okay. That's your other option. That's it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing when you compare, you know, you mentioned Warcraft, and Cash and I have been playing Lotro a lot, and other MMOs that are out there. Like,
Wait, you're not still playing Lotro, are you? Are you playing Lotro?
I am.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm just soloing through Lotro just to absorb story and just to play an old school MMO.
How is it?
It's freaking phenomenal.
Really?
Having a blast. Yeah. Honestly, and Jibs, will go right back to you. Just 10 seconds. I'm having a blast playing Lotro. I'm obviously a Lord of the Rings fan. I really enjoy that. But playing Ashes of Creation and that old school, you're going to have to earn it, Mr. Feel, is exactly what I'm craving. So during the week when I have time, I am playing Lotro and I'm having a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did not know. I legitimately did not know that.
Yeah. Get in there and play with me.
No.
No.
But that's the thing, though. Like, and so, for instance, okay, so I'll use that as well. Like, Ashes has reignited in a lot of people, you know, and Cash will use you as an example of that earn it gameplay loop, of that feeling of not everything's accessible, you know, like not everything's at your fingertips, not everything's like right next to you, not everything's convenient, you know, like it's just, it's crazy it's tough to go play another MMO. Like it's the legitimate Ashes effect that's just taking place. And like, I'll tell you,
that's a great way to put it.
I'll tell you,
great way to put it.
I've been back to 20th anniversary edition of Warcraft Classic. I started playing that because that was like the earn it thing, right? And granted, probably I mean, like it's old, but still it has that mentality to it. And so that's what I've been diving into.
I want to stop you right here. Like, I want you to clarify this because I think Cash and I both like perked our ears up when you said this. What is the Ashes effect? What is the Ashes effect?
I made it up, but what it is is to me, like it's how it affected me. I walked out of a weekend and I found myself looking at all the MMOs out there, and nothing could meet Ashes. Nothing could meet the feel. Like, I'm not talking features, okay? Look, like every MMO is more feature rich right now than AshesOfCreation, but I'm talking about the style of it, the open world of it, the fact that you have to go and earn those things. Like it's there already, and when it's like comparing Ashes to every other game, and when you leave the weekend and the servers go down, you're bummed out, and you look down the horizon of all the MMOs, and you're just like, it's tough to go play anything else because there's only one thing that fits that mold, and it's Ashes.
Cash, what is the Ashes effect?
I think the Ashes effect is, and I was today years old when I learned that term, and I now love it. I think the Ashes effect is a lot of things. I think it is that callback to the old school MMO. I think it is, it's the fact that the game, again, is a skeleton that they're slowly adding meat to, yet we are completely addicted to it. I think it is the fact that because of that lack of content, because of the slow pace of the content coming into the game, but them still having an amazing framework where the combat is solid, the grinding is actually really fun. You have dopamine hits as soon as you see freaking green glowies on a dead mob or a blue glowy on a dead mob. You know there's something there. It's those little spaced out hits of dopamine. It's the way that the crafting system is being built. It's the fact that you can take your commodities from one place to another and have fear and risk of losing it. It's walking out into the wild and not knowing whether or not EPH is going to freaking smoke you. That's a big part of it, right? But I think you take all of these little factors, some of which I mentioned, a whole bunch that I didn't. You take all of those and you put it all together. And the biggest part of that Ashes effect that is truly addicting me right now is the fact that we're in Discord, hanging out with our people, getting to know each other, rallying the troops when they're needed. And boy, do they come. We ran a caravan the other day, 14 wagons deep. 14 wagons deep.
14.
We put the call out to our folks for all hands on deck. Like, if you can be there, please be there. We had a full raid group in 10 minutes of Black Talon Trading Company, diehard people playing during the Thanksgiving break, making memories, building friendships that are going to last for a long time. So you take all of those factors and you put them together, it equals the addiction that the alpha test is creating for AshesOfCreation. That's what I think the Ashes effect is.
Well said. I agree wholeheartedly. And you know, the part that kind of goes along with that, you talked about like the possibility of losing that loot. That's a new one for MMOs, like from a grand scale. Okay. I'm it's Ashes is bringing in survival game mechanics into an MMORPG, and it's affecting the player base. It's affecting the way they play. Should I carry this loot back? Because I could lose it. The idea or the mentality and the feeling of I could lose this in an MMO is normally found in survival games. Ark Survival Evolved, Rust, Minecraft, like any of the survival titles. And so that anxiety from that is now in the MMO space. And that is also a part of Ashes. Like what you were saying, Cash, like it hits different. It hits you different and it leaves you feeling different the following week when you can't play the darn thing because the servers are down.
Yeah, but the fear of how it's going to be when they're up all the time. I'm terrified. I'm a grown-ass man playing video games, and I'm terrified of the time sink.
I think, go ahead, Sonny, go ahead. I want you to get your point in.
No, I mean, like on the time sink, and everything like that. I mean, it is what it is. We're all worried about that kind of thing because we're reasonable adults that have jobs, stuff like that. I just want to take the Ashes effect, and then we can probably lead into the close, unless you have anything further you want to go on this. But to me, the Ashes effect is just, I like things that are simple and encapsulated. So to me, the Ashes effect is what happens when you introduce an old school MMO and all the concepts that made you fall in love with MMOs before they gradually chipped away at it over the course of 15 years of quality of life improvements. There was a time when they came out with this concept of MMORPG, and they had these great ideas, and they developed this thing, and everyone fell in love with it. And then since then, it has been eroded by game after game after game, and patch after patch after patch that chipped away at all of the things until it evolved into this sort of mutant that it is today. And then Ashes of Creation comes out and it says, you know what? We really liked those ideas from back in the day. And we really liked certain things that certain games did in that time. And here they are. And here's the concept. And then you play it and you're like, oh, right. This is the genre that I fell in love with. And to me, that's the Ashes effect.
Do you feel like Ashes is a love letter to ourselves as gamers from 20 years ago?
I love that expression. And that was the University of Coruscant for me. And that was like some of the projects that you've done. And that is one of my favorite expressions. And I think it is. Like, how could it not be? You have a guy designing it who says, you know what? I've done very well in my life in other ventures, and I have this hobby, and I want to bring this thing back. Even though financially, other companies are not doing this anymore. I've got a little bit of money to burn, and at the same time, I believe in this project. That's what a love letter is.
You got a lot of bit of money to burn.
You got a lot of bit of money to burn. All right. But he sold a hell of a Kickstarter. That's what a love letter is, right? Mm-hmm. A love letter is, I believe in something because this is what I really, really enjoyed, and I want to bring it back, even if other people don't see the vision that I do. And that's where we are. And I think it's panning out. Like, it's hard to argue. Every week that goes further, it gets harder and harder to argue that people aren't into this. They're into it. Yeah. We're into this.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Okay, so let me throw this at you real quick. Now that we've played A2, coming close to the end of phase 1, if they open the Kickstarter pre-order packs again, would you invest?
Immediately.
Probably not. And here's the reason why. I never do pre-order packs. It's just the cosmetics and the other things like that are just not my thing.
No. Like, I mean, like the Kickstarter, like levels of that you could support them with, and you would get things like, I think it was $500 and you never pay a subscription fee. Like, it's lifetime subscription, and you would do that. Okay. Okay.
Oh, hindsight, yes. It's the reason why I don't support those kind of other things is because I just don't care about cosmetics. It's just never been a thing that I really have been into. But all of those other things, like if you're asking me if I'm going to back this game to the point where it becomes like a logical investment over time because I'm going to play it, like, yeah, like the hindsight of the thing is just, it's panning out. Like we're at this point, it's not vaporware. I've played it. It is fun, which was a big question, and it is bringing in other people, which is the other required element of an MMO. Like it can be the first two things, but if nobody else is there, then it's not an MMO. It's all of the things. Yeah. If you take the time machine back, you for sure buy into this thing at the earliest phase.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That
I
lifetime sub.
Yeah. I'd do it in a heartbeat. No question. It's just, it's,
yeah.
There's something about this game, boys. That
Yeah, this game is all the best aspects of every MMO that you ever loved to play.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
all in one game, and it's not BS. Just like Sonny said, like it's not vaporware because our hands are now on it.
Right.
So, yeah, man, it's again, like it's a scary proposition to what this game could be, and if they keep on this trajectory and keep moving the chains forward a little at a time, fix what you can each week, start, stay on their roadmap that they have, because I think it's a fantastic roadmap, and if they can stick to that roadmap, all the doomsayers and I think a lot of the people out there that are complaining about, oh, this game is this or this game is that, like, okay, well, maybe it's not the game for you, but they're following through on what they're saying they're going to do. That is the key to success in development and to keeping a fan base, is doing the things that you say you're going to do. And so far they're delivering. So please stay on this trajectory because it has been amazing.
I think that's perfect place to wrap. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This was LoreForged, the podcast for Ashes of Creation. If you enjoyed this episode, let us know how we're doing, whether it's the comments below on the video or maybe on your podcast app of choice. Please take a couple moments. It helps the algorithm for us and it helps more gamers like you find the show. We certainly do appreciate it. Leave your reviews, do your thing. We love and appreciate you. You can call us at 516-875-1776. You can also email us, loreforgedhq@gmail.com. Sonny.
You can go to loreforged.com and see the links to all the links. So many links, just links on links. And that will take us to the YouTube, where JB has been putting out a bunch of videos. There's all sorts of good stuff. All the drama. We've got Steven with red eyes. We've got clickbait titles. We've got it all.
We got copium masks.
We got copium masks. We got like so much copium. We got none of those things. We don't do that. We do have Twitch, though, twitch.tv/LoreForgedHQ. We are streaming pretty regularly now. We're streaming on the weekends with Ashes, and during the week, we're talking about Ashes and having some fun playing other games and just generally having a good time. And plus, we have Patreon. And boy, Patreon has been like kind of blowing up, to be totally honest with you. We have the 2 tiers of Patreon. We have the Tavern Regular and the Barback. And that gets you access to the happy hour private Discord channel, as well as early access to everything else, including some special things like the C3, the Capital Crafting Calculator, and Cash's book when it comes out soon.
It's very close.
It's very close.
I'm on final edits, and
also not vaporware.
Not vaporware.
Nope.
I'm on final edits. We've added, we can update the people. I've added graphics with the help of Jibs. So there's some pretty colorful things in there. And I actually added 2 recipes to it this week, just ones that I was like, wait, that's not in there. I need to put that in there. So I'm getting very close to completion on this thing. So I think it'll be worth it. It's fun. It'll be a fun little guide to health and fitness, and hopefully people enjoy it. If you don't, then Sonny wrote it.
That's what I need in my life. More angry emails. Okay. Yes. And that is, of course, available as a part of the second tier Patreon channel. And like, it's going to be great. At the end of a lot of my Twitch streams, I tell people, I was like, hey, go out and do something good in the universe. Like, help an old lady across the street, open a door for somebody, say thank you when you didn't have to say thank you. Just go out and do something to make the universe a little bit better place. And this book is exactly that. This is going to make the universe just a slightly better place for somebody. Somebody's going to read your book and be like, you know what? I'm going to get out there and I'm going to improve my life. So I'm thrilled about that. Cash, take us through the rest of it.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that greatly. Friends, you can follow us on X at LoreForged HQ. You can follow us on Instagram at LoreForged HQ. You can join our Discord community and see if you're good enough to pass the douchebag filter. We don't have any douchebags, so something's working. Anyway, huge hearty welcome to Blackthorns, Red Desert, Darkwind, Longshot, Tahiti, Aliocha, Kenobi, Ghost Leo, Kaiser, Lookup, Shabby Duder, Fetvar, Tempest Fox.
We thought he died. We thought he died.
We thought you died, bro. Welcome back. Crew, Asher, Nauseous, Hallister, Briar, Polyrath, and Darkness. Welcome to the family.
We love you all. Have a great week in gaming, and we will see you right here next week on LoreForged. Take care, everybody.
Peace, love, and honeybees.
Safe travels, adventures.
Peace.